Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you for joining me today for a Case the Catalogue challenge. Today I'm going to grab the annual catalogue, open it up to a set that I have and case one of the demonstration cards that's with it. I will caveat that as demonstrators we do get sent a recipe card telling us how to make the cards that are in the catalogue, but I have not looked at them. So this is going to be completely just going from the picture and deciding what they've done and making the card to match. So let's get started. I will also add everything I use in the project today is available from my store www.slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Enjoy the project. So for today's Case the Catalogue challenge, I'm going to be using the Cheerful basket bundle, which is this one right here, and it's really cute. And on the page opposite in the annual catalogues, this is page 34, there are a few samples. There are also additional samples in the bundle page. So if you go to the bundle page, and this one is here, there's this sample up here as well. For today, I am going to be doing this one. I'm a crafter, so I love this with the scissors and the ink and the pens and everything else, and I'm going to be creating my version of this card. Now this looks like a smaller note card, which is fine, but I'm actually going to do it on a normal size card sheet. Okay, so I'm going to be using So Saffron cardstock for this, and I've got that just in front of me here. So I'm just going to cut this down so it's cardstock size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the catalogue out the way, but as always I'm going to put a picture of the card that we're making just in the corner of the screen so you can follow along and you can see where I'm going right and where I'm going wrong. So I'm going to cut that in half. And then I'm going to score it in half to create me a card base. I've just done something really silly actually. I've said I'm going to be putting this on the screen so you can see, but obviously it's not there for me yet. And I've put the catalogue down on the floor, so I'm just going to have to pick it back up so I can have a look at what we're doing. Right, so I want a piece of basic white cardstock, and I've got one here, but I want to cut that down. So it looks to me like I'm going to be losing 2 centimeters off the side and probably about 1.5 centimeter and 1.5 centimeters, 3 centimeters top and bottom. So have a look at that. So what did I say? It's 10.5 nanos at a centimeter each side, didn't I? So 8.5 centimeters will be the width. Yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? And this is 14.8, and I said we were losing 1.5 centimeters and 1.5 centimeters and 1.5, probably about there. So yeah, that looks about right. So that's 12 centimeters by 8.5 centimeters. Okay, now what I don't have is I don't have any So Saffron DSP, which is sad because there is DSP in the background of this card. So what I've decided to do is grab the Abigail Rose 12 by 12 designer series paper. I'm going to take this one just here. This is gorgeous DSP, isn't it? Really beautiful. And I'm going to use this on the card instead, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sponge it so that it is a So Saffron colour. So before I do that, I'm just going to want to cut it so it is the pretty much the same as this. So I'm just going to do it so it's a couple of millimeters bigger. So this was 8.5, so I'm going to do 8.8 centimeters. And this way was, I think it was 12, yeah, so I'm going to do 12.8 3 centimeters. So it's just a little bit bigger than the white card, not massive. You're not really going to be able to see that it's a lot bigger, but when you actually put it on the skew if, you will actually see then that the card shows around the edges of that bit. So when it goes on there, you're going to have it pretty much like what the card is in the picture. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my blender brush, grab my So Saffron. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of grid paper to put underneath this. And I'm just going to have a little bit of a blend, not massively, but around the edges of this, just to give it that sort of So Saffron sort of feel and look, so it actually looks like it's the right sort of shade of paper, which is going to be good. I'm not going to bother doing the middle because I'm putting the basic white on top of the middle, so it's not going to make any difference. No one's going to see that, but they will see the sides. So there we go. Done. And that will then sit sort of underneath that on the card. Next up is some stamping. Now I have looked at this several times and I'm actually just going to bring this in so it's bigger for you. I think they've done this with watercolour pencils rather than blends or anything else. So I'm going to grab my watercolour pencils out. And because we're doing watercolour pencils, you're going to want your Stays On ink for this rather than your Memento. Okay, let's grab both of the stamps. So first of all, there's the basket. These are quite big stamps actually. Ooh, I haven't used them yet, as you can see. It's all new on the thing, but yeah, they're quite beautiful, those are. Right, let me grab some bigger blocks because I got little blocks out thinking they were going to be littler stamps, but they are not. Right, there we go, 1 and 2. I'm going to go with the basket first. I might have to go that one diagonal so it fits onto that block, otherwise I'm going to have to change blocks again. Right, basket first. Now when you're doing Stays On, you put it in and you just twist it a little bit, just a little bit, but it just means you're going to get all the ink onto your block then. And I'm just going to stamp that down. Oh, that's not very good. I think my Stays On might be dry. Let's turn it over and go again. And pray my Stays On is not dry because I don't think I've got a re-inker. That's it. Right, fingers crossed everybody. Otherwise I'm going to have to recut and go with a different colour, which is kind of not what I wanted to do. Ah ha ha, that's better. But it does need to be re-inked. It's very dry. So I'm just breathing on it. Sometimes when you've got dry ink, like breathing on it will just bring a bit of moisture onto the stamp and will make it a bit easier then. So pop my lid on, Stays On. Stays On gets onto anything, it doesn't come off. So there we go. I'm happy with that. So that got onto the card. It has got a bit of a mess at the bottom, so I'm just gonna, it's where it had actually pulled on the paper, but we can hide that. Right, so for colouring purposes, they seem to have a blue basket and they've got green, what looks like Coastal Cabana, bit of pink. Let's grab some rich raspberry. They've got the yellow. Now my yellow is like teeny tiny. It's going to be down the bottom here somewhere because it's so small. I use it so much. There we go. And let's grab light and navy as well. So let's see how we get on with this. So basket is blue, and I'm not putting much pressure on this. I'm just sort of letting the pencil do the work, and I'm going in line with the basket as well. Okay. I'm not going particularly neat because my blender pen is going to bring up the colour. This is just getting the colour in the right place for it to pick it up. What colour is the ribbon? That ribbon is a yellow colour. And that ink pad's a yellow colour. And the pencil's a yellow colour. And then there we go. Right. So now I just need my blender. And I'm just going to drag this colour through. Just going to make it look a bit tidier. And then what you want to do in between each one is wipe off the colour you were last using. Otherwise it's going to drag the next colour into that area of the project. So for instance, once you've done the blue bits, do coastal banner at the same time, it's the same sort of colour. Just wipe it a couple of times on your hand or on a sheet of paper and go over the next bit. And then again, going into the green. And again. And there we go. There's that. So, looking at my catalogue now, it's telling me that I want to do some stamping. So I'm using the Inspired by You, looking at it. Some scrap basic white again. And it seems like I'm doing that in some sort of corally colour. And so I'm going to think that's going to be Calypso Coral. It could be Flirty Flamingo, but I'm going to go with Calypso Coral. And they've done it on a biggish sort of rectangle. So, just grab my scoring tool. So I'm going to do that at about 1 1/4 inches. And at about 2 3/4 inches, just over. Inspired by You. And then we're on to assembly by the look of it. So first up, I'm going to position these on the card as to where I want them, and then I'm going to glue each bit down. So I want that bit straight and this bit off to the side. So I kind of want that like that. Okay, and then stick this one on top. Now the difference I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this up here because it was down there on theirs. However, I have an awful lot of white at the top, so I must have done something a bit different on my measurements. Oh, I tell you why, it's because it's they've done it in American notebook style, so the note cards in America are a lot shorter and slightly wider. Ours are thinner and longer, so that's why I've got a gap at the top. So that's where I'm going to put my sentiment. Once I've got it stuck off me. Actually, am I? Or am I going to keep it down? No, I'm going to keep it down here, actually. Then I'm not damaging the designer series paper. I'm going to keep it like that. So there we go. There is the case for today from the case challenge. It's this one here using the Cheerful basket, which is available from my site www.slimandstylish.stampingup.net, and you can purchase it as a bundle with the coordinating dies as well. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.
I hope you've enjoyed today's project. All items that I have used on this video are available to purchase from my store www.slimandstylish.stampingup.net. Alternatively, if you would like a copy of our catalogues, please send me an email to slimandstylish@live.co.uk or leave me a comment below and I'll get in touch with you. I upload regular content to this channel, so if you do enjoy watching my tutorials, please make sure that you have subscribed and rang the bell to get notifications when new videos go live. Thank you for joining me and have a lovely day.